Welcome to a delightful conversation where laughter and language meet.
Emily, do you think humor is a universal language or does it vary too much across cultures?
I believe humor is universal in the sense that everyone laughs, but the triggers can be quite cultural.
That's a good point. For example, British humor relies heavily on irony and understatement.
Absolutely, and American humor often involves exaggeration and direct jokes.
Do you think people can truly understand humor in a second language?
It depends on their cultural exposure and how much they've immersed themselves in that language.
I agree. Sometimes it's not just about words, but also the context and timing of a joke.
Exactly. For example, a pun might be funny in English but lose its charm when translated.
That's true. It reminds me of the joke about the two antennas getting married.
Oh, yes, the wedding wasn't great, but the reception was excellent, right?
Exactly. It's simple yet clever, and it works perfectly in English.
It's also a good example of how humor can play on double meanings.
Yes, and understanding double meanings can be a challenge for language learners.
That's why teaching humor is such an important part of learning English.
I've heard that humor can also make language learning more enjoyable.
Definitely, laughing while learning creates a positive emotional connection to the language.
Have you ever used jokes or funny stories in your English lessons?
Yes, I love using short, funny anecdotes to explain complex grammar points.
That's brilliant! Can you share an example with me?
Sure, once I used a story about a talking dog to teach reported speech.
That sounds intriguing. What was the story about?
It was about a dog who told its owner, "I can talk," and the owner reported it to everyone.
I can see how that would make learning reported speech more entertaining.
Exactly, the students laughed and remembered the grammar better because of the humor.
That's a great teaching technique. I should try it in my own lessons.
You definitely should. Humor breaks the ice and makes students more comfortable.
Do you think every type of humor works in a classroom setting?
Not really. Some jokes might be too complicated or culturally specific to understand.
That's true. It's important to know your audience before cracking a joke.
Absolutely, and sometimes even a funny tone or exaggerated expression is enough to make students laugh.
Do you use humor outside of teaching as well?
Oh, definitely. Humor is a great way to connect with people in everyday life.
I agree. It can make conversations lighter and more engaging.
Exactly. For instance, I once used a joke to diffuse a tense situation.
That's impressive. Humor truly has the power to bring people together.
It does, and it's also a sign of intelligence and creativity, don't you think?
Absolutely. Crafting a good joke takes quick thinking and wit.
And the best jokes often come from observing everyday situations.
Yes, real-life humor is the most relatable and enjoyable kind.
Speaking of real-life humor, have you ever laughed so hard you cried?
Oh, yes. Once during a family dinner, someone told a hilarious story.
What was the story about? Now I'm curious.
It was about my uncle trying to fix a chair and ending up breaking the whole table.
That's hilarious. Situational comedy is the best.
It is, and those moments become stories we laugh about for years.
It's amazing how humor can create lasting memories.
So true. Humor makes life lighter and more enjoyable.
And it's a skill that everyone can develop with practice, don't you think?
Definitely. Even just learning to laugh at oneself is a great start.
Yes, self-deprecating humor shows confidence and humility.
I'll try to incorporate more humor into my daily interactions from now on.
That's a great idea. Let's compare notes in a month and see how it goes.
Deal! But no stealing my jokes!
I'll try, but only if they're truly funny.
Challenge accepted. Get ready to laugh.
I'm looking forward to it. Let's make life more joyful with humor.
Agreed. Humor is the secret ingredient to a happy life.
And with that, I think we've had a pretty humorous conversation ourselves.
We did. Let's keep spreading laughter wherever we go.
Thank you for this laughter-filled chat, William. Until next time. If you enjoyed this conversation and want to keep laughing with us, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell.